factors. But the watching them get berated upon.
Go ahead and call. This meeting to order at 7:35 PM. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start with roll call, then we'll do that.
Attendance, Supervisor Crowner,
Here.
Trustee Klein,
Here.
Trustee Francis.
Here.
Trustee Tyson,
Here.
Trustee Goyak.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, other executives, assessor.
Yeah, Highway Commissioner.
Here.
Clerk here.
And then the assessor and tax collector already previously indicated they would not be in attendance this evening.
Okay.
All right, I don't think I have to remind anybody what today's date is, so just go ahead and we'll just do a brief moment of silence and remembrance in honor of those who fell on 9/11. Thank you. First item on the agenda is public comments. I invite anybody who has a public comment to go ahead and speak now. Please note that you're limited to 1 3-minute comment. Okay. Hearing none, we have some items on the agenda here, but what I'm gonna actually request, if the board is okay with it, is that we have 2 guests with us. First with regards to our audit, and second with regards to energy aggregation. So I'm gonna request that we push those items up to the top of the agenda to give them an opportunity to get back home to their families, so.
Sure.
So that's okay with you all. So then first up, I'm gonna ask for a motion to begin approval for the 2024-2025 fiscal year audit. Give a motion, please.
Second.
All right. So motion,
Motion is Francis, second and Goyak.
all right, floor is yours, Mr. Ed Tracy of Sullivan Fox.
Okay, well, thank you for having me here. Thank you for moving me up in the agenda. Yeah, so we came out to do the audit this year in late July. And then finished up the reports and everything in August, and so now we're here in time. The reports are due to be filed by the end of the month. We should be fine with that, on track for that. As part of the audit, we do take a look at the internal control structures that are in place. We walk through selected transactions, we review the procedures with management, with your outside accountant. And we did, as a result of the procedures, we did not identify any weaknesses or deficiencies in the internal control structure that we would have to bring to your attention in a management letter. So we did provide a short management letter, but it really is just a heads up on some issues but not yet effective standards coming down the pipe for governmental accounting. We do make some adjustments sometimes to books and records. This year, we didn't have any adjustments to the fund financial statements, and I'll explain the difference in a second. Mark did give us 2 small adjustments, asked that we make them during the course of the audit. So we did that. We probably would have, if he didn't request us making, we probably would have passed on because they weren't that significant. We made them, so there was a couple small adjustments. Then there's also a second set of financial statements in our audit report, which is called the government-wide financial statements. Difference being that these kind of are more of a long-term perspective, whereas your fund financial statements, which is how you keep your books, which is how you, what you get from a month-to-month basis, is more of a current focus. This is more of a long-term focus. So we have to make some adjustments to convert those fund financial statements to the longer-term focus government-wide financial statements. And those types of adjustments typically come from schedules and information provided by the client, provided by management. And they're similar to what we make year in and year out. It's part of the process. As far as the audit itself is concerned, our opinion on the financial statements was unmodified. That's the highest form of assurance that we can give. Financial statements are fairly presented. Just a couple of highlights in terms of results for the year. Township reported a positive bottom line from the government-wide financial statements. This is the full accrual basis, and the difference being like if you purchase a vehicle in the fund financial statements, it's an expense. In the government-wide statements, it's considered a capital assets put on the balance sheet and appreciated over time. So if these long-term assets, long-term liabilities, they're treated differently. So under that long-term perspective, that full accrual perspective, there was a positive bottom line of about 750,000 this year, which is up from the prior year. In the fund financial statements, there was a positive bottom line overall of about 85,000. Your major funds are considered the ones that make up 10% of the total assets, liabilities, revenues, or expenses of the township as a whole. And those would be the general town, the road and bridge, and the hard road funds. The general town had a positive bottom line for the year, 110,000. The road and bridge, a positive bottom line for the year, 123,000. And the hard road had a negative bottom line of 180,000. And that's really because that's where the major projects come out of. At the end of the year, your IMRF was better than, just under 100% funded. So you're almost fully funded in your IMRF plan. It's 97% funded. So that just means that the assets that you contributed, the monies that you contributed to IMRF that are being invested by IMRF on your behalf are nearly equal to the amount that you expect to pay out to employees that have been earned to date, for benefits that have been earned to date. So that's really a good position. Last year was about 89% funded, now it's 97% funded. Other than that, you know, like I said, there really wasn't much, we didn't have any issues in terms of doing our audit work. We were able to, we use like a portal system, they upload a lot of stuff ahead of time, and we're able to do it in an efficient manner, and everyone is very cooperative and helpful.
Thank you. I just had, one question, and thank you to the clerk for bringing it to my attention, but it, in one area, it does reference the park that we no longer have. The Wheatland Community Park, it's a kind of in the narrative section.
Okay.
So I see two instances of it, appearing in here. Just with regards to operations. Now I don't. When looking at kind of like balance sheet and operations funds and stuff like that, I don't see
Right.
any reference to it, so I think that's just a previously used narrative copied over from year to year.
You know what page was I can?
Yeah, not a problem. So, the first instance, are they actually both on the same? It's page 10. Yeah, so it's
Oh.
summary and future considerations.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we can, remove that, we can remove the references to the community, or I see where that is now.
Okay,
Yeah, that's fine, we'll take that out.
so then, before we have approval, I'm gonna motion that we approve this, kind of a conditional approval. One on the removal of references to the community park, and just a final verification that that park is not considered part of our assets.
Okay, yeah.
And the balance sheet.
Sure, I'll double check that, but I don't believe.
I don't think it is either, but I just wanna make sure before we
Yeah.
fully adopt it, so. So that's, I'm gonna put that motion on floor, so I'm gonna move to approve the, I'm sorry, before we get to that, if anybody else has any additional questions, before we do a final approval for Mr. Tracy.
So,
No. There you go, okay, so then, back to it, I'm gonna motion to approve the audit for, to adopt and submit. Pending the removal and confirmation of removal of references to the Wheatland Township Community Park. Can I get a second on that motion, please?
Second.
Okay,
All right, motion.
and then we'll do a roll call. Yes, Crowner and Glowiak.
And, trustee Klein?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Trustee Francis?
yes,
Trustee Tyson? Trustee Gloria?
Yes. Thank you.
Should pass.
Yeah, and yes for me.
And- I just figured.
Alright, motion carries 5-0. Okay,
I will.
thank you, Mr. Tracy.
I'll mail you that section tomorrow morning.
Okay, perfect,
The updated language.
excellent, thank you so much.
Verified about the, I'm 99%.
I think so as well, because I don't see any other references to it anywhere else in the statements.
Sure,
Just wanted to make sure.
yeah, no, thank you for bringing that to my attention.
And then, again, the audit engagement letter was recent.
Yes, I saw it.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much this
Thank you.
evening. We'll look forward to getting that back.
Thank you a lot.
you. Thank you. All right, We do have an additional guest joining us via Zoom. This is regarding our energy aggregation program. I think it's Michael, am I correct?
Yeah,
Correct?
you can hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect, appreciate it.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn the floor, or actually to get this process, or we'll go ahead and just turn the floor over to you and then we'll discuss potential approvals after that. So
Sure. I'm gonna share my screen. Can everybody see if I share some slides?
you have a HDMI on that? No. Okay, just give me one moment. I'm gonna get our tech set up for you.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I know I got one. I just gotta join via Zoom here. I got two.
So the good one with that.
I think
It's the okay one.
is that the,
Now.
that's still the bad one?
Now we fixed it.
Okay.
Took a hammer to it, tapped it, full screen.
Oh, there you go.
What was that?
Oh, no, it looks like there's still a
Space
crack.
station.
Space station all in.
Look at
That is-
that. You're good.
One of those two.
Double check, I'll do some.
You should miss one and two. Here.
You can just have press the.
That's one time. Yeah, it won't, yeah, we'll know the rate.
Oh, let's see, which board you want to put it into? It's in one
We're
word.
gonna put some signs out. It's down there.
It's on three right now.
And there's gonna be blast.
I'll just switch it to three rather than us figuring out where.
Once in a while.
It might be easier.
Right time. Or space. We actually. It's almost a little pop out from the. There we go. Back up. And I can have you in the police area. You can't.
All right, we've got you up on our screen now.
All right,
I'll just give them the ability to share.
yeah, I just sent the request.
Should be good to go.
Is that pull up yet?
We don't say anything just yet.
All right,
There we go, it's coming up now.
all right. All right, let me minimize. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to talk to all of you. I was going to go through, again, I'm Michael DeCalio. I'm president of Nenia Energy. We're the third party advisor for the county with regard to this program. And I'll go a little bit about the history of the program, what it is, and then give our results. We went out to the market and got multiple quotes, and I'll share the lowest quote that we got. So if there's any questions, feel free to stop me. I'll kind of approach this like nobody's done this before. I know some of you have been in this before, and when I presented last year. So electricity aggregation. A referendum for electricity aggregation was passed in April of 2013 by Wheatland Township residents. They voted on this. So Illinois is what's called a deregulated state, which means the utility strictly delivers the power. They don't make any power. When you think of ComEd, it's just a poles and wires company. The market provides the supply piece on your bill. And that's what we're allowed to choose in Illinois for both gas and power. And today we're talking about power. What aggregation does is it allows a community to act on its residents' behalf and kind of bulk buy power for residents and allow it as an option. So in addition, versus kind of an individual customer going out and shopping the market. So that bulk buying provides some economies of scale. The important thing on the program, though, is a resident can opt out at any time and return to ComEd. ComEd has a default rate, so the state goes to the market and buys power for ComEd. So again, ComEd doesn't make any power. So there's a default rate in place for ComEd that goes June to May every year. So we're in the middle of their planning year right now. So this is strictly an option to residents. that again, they can opt out and go back to ComEd at any time with no penalties or fees. So this is strictly optional for residents. So our last term, last November, it was approved by the board to do a 12-month term that took us from January of this year till December of this year. And as you'll see, we're far below where ComEd is. So we've saved residents about $352 per customer, per resident this year versus ComEd's default rate. And over the period since we started this in 2013, we've averaged about 65 to 70% participation by residents in this program. So it's been extremely successful. So current program, again, we're in the middle of, we're probably 8 months in. It was a January to December as a calendar year term that we executed last time. The rate at the time was 8.599 cents per kilowatt hour. The supplier was Dynegy. Again, that's the supplier on the bill. They get one bill though, a ComEd bill. Dynegy is just providing the supply piece on that bill. And this is compared to the ComEd default rate that was over 10 cents. So customers saved about 15 cents, residents saved about 15% on their ComEd bills through this program this year. So energy market, what's going on? Electricity is a traded commodity. So when you hear about oil and silver and gold, electricity is the same thing. There's what's called the futures market. So there's traders out there betting on what they think energy is going to do. So it's a dynamic market that'll go up and down with different facets and supply demand, economy, weather. So again, there's a timing aspect of when we want to do this. We want to lock rates when the rates are lower. And that's what we're here for, is to provide some market expertise and what's going on in the market, some kind of estimation of what's going to happen too. So just so you know, there's a timing aspect of when we look at power. This chart right here is the futures power. So this bottom axis here is time. So we're right here in September, and this is what futures market have done. So we locked, rates went up. After that, they've since subsided a little bit, but we're nearing towards winter when we anticipate rates will increase again. So this was signed in November of 24. The market's been a little volatile since then, but long term, there's pretty reliable estimates that our power prices are going to increase pretty dramatically, and not just in Illinois, but across the country, primarily driven by data center construction. Data center eventually is probably going to encompass about 20% of our national demand for electricity. So this kind of new, I think I mentioned last time, just for comparison's sake, if we put Wheatland Township into Google and we put it into ChatGPT, the power difference in just those two searches is about 10 to 1. It takes ChatGPT about 10 times the amount of power to run the same search. So that's the kind of demand that's coming online, and we're just in the infancy of our building out these building out these data centers. So although we're low now, the expectation is we're going to be quite higher going forward. The other aspect, it's on the supplier bill, but this is regarding our regional grid. ComEd is part of a grid that goes all the way to the East Coast. It goes to Pennsylvania and Jersey, Maryland. All the individual utilities are part of this grid. So when you drive down the highway and you see the high voltage wires, those kind of zipping wires, those are actually not ComEd's wires. It's a different company. And this is part of the supplier's bill. And part of that charge from the regional grid is called capacity, which won't mean anything, but in short, capacity is a reliability cost. It's a cost to make sure that we have enough power in peak times. So you think about a 100-degree day when everybody's got their air conditioning on, this is a charge. And what this chart says is that we don't have enough power going forward. And these are that reliability charge. It's part of the supplier's supply charge. These kind of terms on the below, the 25, 26 and 26, 27, this is a June to May season. So we're in the middle of this 25 to 26 year. And we saw capacity, this reliability cost go up about tenfold starting in June of this year. So when you hear about ComEd rates going way up, this is why our reliability costs. We don't have enough power nationally to meet demand. And we expect this to continually go up. And this orange line are the new capacity charges that start in June of next year. And again, there's another 10% increase on top of the increase we already saw. So basically, long-term power prices are going up. So this is the low price that we found was Dynegy again. And right now, the ComEd's default rate is about about 0.104 cents per kilowatt hour. These rates are all about or a little bit higher than the ComEd default rate. So what we did is we provided options. There's a 0% green. It's just like we've done. It's called brown power. It's like normal electricity. We don't know where it comes from, but I expect that this is kind of fossil fuel generated. So these different options, again, 10.495 for 12 month. This would be for January till December of next year. The one thing to point out is this ComEd rate, this 0.104, will reset next June, and it doesn't include these higher capacity costs that are going to again increase next June. So it's a little bit of false comparison. But what we also wanted to do is provide some options, and those options are with respect to sustainability. We can provide these rates, Dynegy can, with some green power included as part of the rate. So there's an option for 50% green and then an option for 100% green. So 100% of this would be considered renewable sourced electricity. So again, when I go back, this would be provided to an option for customers. These are rates they couldn't normally individually buy on their own, but there's been a kind of a concerted effort on many villages and towns to be green. And this is a way to do that. Again, higher than ComEd, but it includes a green that isn't included in that ComEd default rate. And when ComEd rates reset next June, more than likely these are going to be below that rate. So we're not quite following the ComEd term where they reset. So it's a little bit of false comparison. The thought is we're going to provide these rates now. Residents can opt out if they want, but long term, this provides a budgetable rate for residents and prevents any future increases that are coming for whatever term we provide. Are there any questions on either the rates or kind of what the program is?
Yeah, Michael,
Huh?
typically does so if we were to lock in this rate, basically what we're betting is that we will be, it's just at this one.
Sorry.
Is that we would be slightly above ComEd for the first half of the calendar year. But then we would be expecting our savings to pretty much come in the second half of the calendar year. That's
Yeah.
what we're betting on.
And that we bet, and the other kind of fallback and safety is that if they don't, then residents can opt out. So this doesn't lock them into anything
Okay.
that they would be subject to long term.
And then, I know you all pulled, the energy usage from our residents. Do you know, what is the average, just so that when we're comparing, 0%, 50% and 100% green. When we're comparing the actual cost, on our residents at the end of the month, what's our average kilowatt hours for our households here? Do you
Yeah,
know?
it's gonna average about 23 to 2,500 kilowatt hours per year. So
Per year?
yeah,
So about 200 a month?
yeah, more or less. Yep.
Okay, cause I'm just trying to see like the difference, cause these are fractions of a cent, so I'm curious. What the resident is actually feeling at the end of the day in the difference between 100% green versus 0% green.
Yeah, so if I did that, probably about $15 to $20. Yeah. There's some estimations. Again, we're not market predictors. ComEd will buy next spring, so a lot of it's going to be based on this winter. But I wouldn't be shocked if ComEd comes at over 11 cents next June. That's a little bit of market prognostication, but again, we've got that safety valve. If that didn't materialize, residents can't opt out.
So I just want to make sure that I'm doing this calculation right in my head so that I'm looking at this. So the difference between 100% green and 0% green is essentially, 0.256 cents, right? So a quarter of a cent difference
Yes.
between 100%. And if our residents are averaging 200 kilowatt hours per month,
So
wouldn't that be a difference of only 50
I
cents?
pulled up my comment.
Yeah.
Bill.
Oh, there you go.
And so for my last month, it was 1,148 kilowatt hours.
Okay. So-
And I'm like turning the AC up all the time, you know, higher in temperature, not lower in temperature, you know.
So even at that, so at 200, if you had 1,100
Zero.
kilowatt hours in the month of, in
Yep.
a hot month, right?
Yep.
The difference, am I doing my calculation right here? The
Here, let
difference,
me,
100% green and 0% green is less than $3.
let me do it real quick.
I just wanna make sure my math is right.
Yeah, not a problem.
Pretty low, cause I do the energy plan.
Yeah.
They say 100% green and it's not that big. And I like how they lock it in, because you do start to save down the line.
I'm just saying, it's just, you know, in evaluating our options, if we can do a better job for our community.
Yeah,
And just-
yeah, about $2 or $3. Yep, $2 or $3.
So $3 in a high month, and then less than that in a low month, okay.
Yeah.
And if our residents save, so like if we were to have done the plan like this last year, what did you say? We saved on average $385, so you could say it would have been at worst like a $350 savings at something.
Correct.
Wrong.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it's real minimal. Yep, yeah.
Okay, I appreciate that, thank you. And then just as a reminder for the board here, this only covers our unincorporated residents.
Okay.
So it doesn't interfere with like the energy program that the city of Naperville has, that they do their own city municipal. Or any other potential plans that, whether it be the city of Aurora, Bolingbrook, or Plainfield may want to do on their own. This is strictly for our unincorporated community. All right. Any, is that the end of the presentation, or do you got more?
No, I just want to list some options real quick, just to spell out. So, you know, we can sign the 24-month term that's a Brown Power. So again, it protects residents against, you know, looming increases in both capacity, which is scheduled. We know this is coming. So you get a lower number now, as well as market supply rates. As we build more data centers, the market's going to respond and go up. So it's an option to kind of lock in your rates now before that happens. And again, residents can always opt out without penalty. Number two is the green option. So you get a slight increase with that green, but it provides some sustainability that they couldn't get on their own. Individually, they pay a lot more for that green option. And again, they do have that option to opt out. The third option is to return to the utility, and we could wait for the market, you know, if it ever came down. If it increases, then of course the Dynegy or whatever supplier rate would increase as well. A lot of that's going to be subject to the weather, economy, and then demand as we see it across the nation for electricity.
I'm sorry, one more, or I think two more questions for you, Michael.
Sure.
When those rates reset, is it typically effective as of June 1 or June 30?
June 1. So what happens if it's a meter read, let's say it's a June 10th meter read?
Yeah.
They would amortize that across. So they get 10 days of higher costs, but they'd see one bill, but it would encompass, you know, 10 days for that customer.
So the reason I ask is then it's truly a 5-month slightly higher and then potentially 7-month gain going into the hottest part of the year.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And again,
And
if it isn't a gain, we could always say, okay, everybody can opt out. That we try to protect, but you're actually better.
So potentially, at worst, we're costing our residents an extra $2 a month, maybe over current ComEd rate for the potential to save, you know, more on the back half of the year.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. And then,
That was a really high bill for me. That was a really high bill.
and then, another question I had for you, sorry, green, June 1, okay, if it comes back to me, I'll ask. Anything else from anyone else?
So So looking at my bill, it says that the electric supply charge,
Yeah, I can stop sharing this, right?
Yes,
Okay.
you're welcome. Sorry.
yeah, so it says the electric supply charge is 0.08261.
Mhm.
But then it says the price to compare is 10.028 cents. So I don't understand those two numbers.
So the 8 cent one,
Yeah,
that's the contract we locked in last year.
no, I'm not part of that.
Everybody was automatically opted in unless you opted out.
No,
Did you opt
'cause-
out?
Yeah, cause I was part of a different, I had found a different rate, and then when that changed, I went back to comment.
Okay, because so generally that 8 cent number,
Yeah,
that is the number that I
Because
believe we had locked in
it says
last time.
supply comment.
Yeah,
If it was somebody else, it would say supply.
yeah.
Dinergy or whatever.
Yeah.
Dynergy.
So Michael, any reference on that? I just know price to compare is what they are charging now, right? So like the
Yeah.
10.4 cents is what we're matching against right now.
Right, that's
Yeah.
why I was just confused, because it says price to compare is the 10 cents.
Yeah.
But then on the supply thing, it says I'm paying 8.
Do you have another line item underneath the supply? It says capacity or transmission?
Transmission.
Yeah.
Service is $20, or 0.017. But wouldn't that be there no matter who the supplier was?
Yeah, that's part of the supply bill. So the supplier's charged with making the supply and getting it to ComEd. So again, that's part of that regional grid that I talked about. That transmission cost is the management of the wires. And that's it's part of the supplier bill, and then it's part of that cost to compare that ComEd lists as well.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
There's about 3 different fees that are included in that transmission. That's transmission, capacity, and ancillary are all different fees to get it to ComEd.
And if I recall correctly from your colleague, she mentioned that there's typically a line item charge that ComEd customers would receive that Dynegy customers do not. What line is that? Do you recall?
Yeah, it's a price, what's it called? It's a PEA, it's the acronym.
Purchased electricity
Yep,
adjustment.
adjustment. Yep, purchase. What happens is ComEd buys power, and then they reconcile that against the market. So if the market goes up, then you get a credit. If the market goes down, you get a charge.
Got it.
Versus what the cost of power was when ComEd bought it.
I got 33 cents credit.
Ah,
I
it's a stick of gum.
Not
don't
these
think
days.
that. Maybe a gumball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So really the program is about protecting the residents against looming increases that are coming. And still giving them that safety
we're
valve of
basically
giving.
buying an option, right? This is a 5-month option that we're buying. At an average cost of, let's say, $2 a month for the potential to hopefully save in the back half of the year.
So then
Yep.
we have a call.
Yeah, there you go.
Mhm.
Any thoughts, so, with regards to the green energy plans versus the 0% green? And understanding what the difference in cost there is.
What are the differences in
So,
those two?
so when we compared, Mary's bill, for example, the difference on hers would have been between $2 and $3 to go from 0% green to 100% green.
And what's 100% green mean though?
I think you said it's all renewable energy as a source of, so what are those sources of
Okay.
renewable energy types?
Yeah, what Dynegy is, they went out, so the EPA regulates green energy and they give certificates to green energy providers, and then the providers sell these certificates to the market, which is users. So you buy these certificates to offset your usage. And that's the cost of that certificate. So in this instance, they used National Wind, it's called. So this would be wind provided power.
Yeah, go ahead. With the green energy costs, locking that in, is the potential for the sustainability for the cost along the PGM region, is that gonna be better
with so many offline programs with timelines, with plants closing for the zero. So are we gonna see fluctuations within that 0% versus green?
You won't, the program won't, will the market change? Yes. And again, that's gonna be a little bit of market prediction. We don't, then you're talking about weather, economy, you know, these data centers that are gobbling up everything. So yeah, then you're into the market dynamics and what's gonna happen and kind of predictions. But the common thought is that we are gonna increase and not just a little bit, probably dramatically. Yeah, we don't have enough power basically as a nation. And there's a 3-year backlog on ordering just power turbines right now. We just are not making enough. And then you have steel tariffs, so the transmission wires aren't getting built quick enough either. So there's a lot of headwinds against lower prices right now.
I guess I have a random question on that note. So like if we have more people investing in the 100% green, does that mean more investments are being made into making more green energy? Like investing in these windmills and those types of things? Or
Yeah,
is
you're
it just like
contributing to
going
it.
to the like electric market anywhere?
Yeah, you're contributing to the effort behind that. Yeah. So the more that
Oh,
we
I
build, yeah, it inspires more build essentially.
Mm, okay. That's a big sell for me.
So I guess we got two questions to answer. It's first, do we want to renew a contract for energy aggregation? And then the second part of the question really is, do we want to go towards a greener option than we have been historically? So every year, just as a reference, every year since I've been on board here at the township, we have saved money as a result of energy aggregation. So I'm personally in favor and leaning towards a yes in terms of renewing the energy piece. The energy contract. And then to me, and also this is a reference, so he said through what was the date, the effective date that you gave the savings for?
January.
January
On the current contract?
Yes.
Yeah, I annualized it, so that 352 it was
Yeah.
for the full year.
Okay, so you annualized it. Okay, so
Yeah.
352. I think in the last contract, it was over 100 was saved. The contract before that was similar, over 100 saved over the course of the contract. So to me, if the difference between 100% green and 0% green is at the high end 250 a month, and we're already having these substantial savings. If you all are comfortable with it, I'm comfortable with the 100% green option. Yeah.
People can opt out if they want.
Yeah, and everybody has, and again, no penalty for opting out for our residents.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do residents have the option to opt in at any time during the period? during the
so
year?
what happens is, as a result of the referendum that was passed. When we enter into these agreements, all unincorporated residents are automatically opted into our energy aggregation plan. So
Okay.
there's no effort required to take advantage of this. They get a letter in the mail. I think they get multiple letters and warnings of, when this is coming. And then, they have the option of opting out even before the process begins. And then they can still opt out at any point after it begins as well. So it's pretty much at any point, and the sooner we agree, the sooner they can send out those letters and warnings. And I'll tell you right now, basically what's gonna happen, we're gonna get, they're gonna send out those letters, we'll get about 15 to 20 emails in that first week and phone calls asking if this is real, asking us to explain what's happening, and we walk the residents through and say, yes, this is something that we go through every year. Historically, we have saved money, it's not a guarantee, but generally over the course of the contract, we have been saving money, so residents are typically comfortable with it. And in our next newsletter, I'll make sure to again put that out before they even get the letters as well. To explain to them, the benefits of what's happened over the last year and why we're gonna continue to do this.
Sounds good.
All right, good with that? All right, well then, with that being said, I'm gonna move to approve a 12-month 100% green aggregation contract with Dynatree. Can I get a second on that motion?
Second.
please?
Motion by Crowner, second by Gloria.
All right, can we do roll call on that, please?
Yes, trustee Klein,
Yes.
trustee Francis,
Yes.
trustee Gloria, trustee Tyson,
Yes.
and trustee Gloria,
Yes, absolutely.
and trustee Crown.
Supervisor Crown says yes. All right, Michael, thanks so much for your time this evening. If you want to go ahead and start sending over those agreements, I'll get those signed tomorrow.
Okay, that'll come from Becky, so just look
Okay.
out for that. Any questions, she's your best contact.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
We have no more speakers. Next item on the agenda is the approval of our August 14th, 2025 regular board meeting minutes. Can you get a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right.
Motion
Well, we
Gloria,
acted, Fred.
second Francis.
All right, any comments on the minutes that were presented? I believe you had sent an updated one earlier this week.
Good.
All right, hearing none, I'm sorry.
Roll call.
Okay, roll call, please.
All right, trustee, Klein,
Yes.
trustee Francis.
Yes.
Trustee Tyson,
Yes.
trustee Gloria,
Yes.
supervisor Crown.
Yes. All right, motion carries. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is bringing back up the approval of resolution number 2512-R System Security and Emergency Preparedness Plan for the PACE program. Can I get a motion, please?
So
To
moved.
get that process started, second?
Second.
Okay.
Motion Gloria, second Klein.
All right, so a version with the updated links was not sent out because Pace would have to go through IT and getting all of that fixed. Just as a reminder, the links do not reference anything outside of the document. They were all internal reference links. So I'm bringing this back up first to see if there's any additional questions with regards to Pace. Is this something that, you know, needed to continue to review the document, or how do you all would like to proceed?
We said that one line we were changing last time we discussed it, right?
On the resolution.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I love the plan, so.
This,
Well,
this was
yeah,
the,
I still wanted to review it and I didn't know that that was the case with the links till you just said it, so I did not, I mean, go back and review
Okay.
it.
so then would you guys like to postpone for one more month?
Yes.
Sure, it's fine.
Okay, well then a motion to table resolution 2512-R to the October board meeting. Maybe
So
second,
moved.
roll call please.
Trustee Klein,
Yes.
trustee Francis.
Yes.
Trustee Tyson,
Yes.
trustee Gloria,
Yes.
supervisor Crown.
Yes, can I get a motion to approve ordinance number 25-05-O, the parking ban?
So moved.
Second.
Motion Gloria, second Francis.
Any comments, or I'll turn over the floor to Harry, this is his ordinance.
So one of the reasons we submitted this ordinance for the parking ban is because of business and resident complaint of trucks parking along the area. In a lot of these industrial parks, what is happening is there are these major trucking companies that are popping up all over the place, and they are parking on both sides of the street. In this case, over in the industrial park, they're parking on both sides of the street and trying to do maintenance in the street, and it's also creating a lot of problems for the businesses trying to get in and out. They're blocking mailboxes. It's just creating a lot of issues. So we reached out to Will County to make sure that we were doing this the proper way for the ordinance. Once this ordinance is passed by the board, it's going to be sent back. It doesn't have to go to land use. It doesn't have to go through approval, other than the engineer will then approve it. Once they approve it, we'll be able to erect signs. And the Will County Sheriffs can then enforce, because right now they have no enforcement mechanism for these trucks parking on the other side of the street until we do this. Once we do that, it should help out significantly in that area.
It's 24/7, no parking.
Yeah, just on one side of the street.
Is this a short term ban?
This is gonna be a long term, yeah, these large trucking companies are popping up more and more. So, this is just, it's gotten out of hand. And Will County sheriffs have acknowledged that it's gotten out of hand, but they said we have no enforcement mechanism because we don't have signage and we don't have an ordinance banning the parking on the one side. So if later down the line we have to remove it, we can remove it, but as of right now, I think it's very much so needed.
Do we know why they're parking there so frequently right now?
I don't think they have space.
Then or planning on their side.
Yeah.
Well, they're
Yeah, so they
planning on their
really
side.
belong in one of these larger
Mhm.
industrial parks with the many bays and
Yes.
parking and all that, yeah.
Where are they gonna go then, I guess? Do we know?
Well, maybe they'll go to a truck parking facility.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they wanna pay the money, so that's why they're putting it on the street.
Okay.
Some of it might be cultural too, because a lot of these companies are more European companies they're coming, and sometimes when they're having conversations with them, there's not even there's a kind of an English barrier too. So once we enact this, it might help out a little bit more for that traffic. Most of them more or less need more space. And then some of these folks are just contractual and they just don't have anywhere to park their vehicles. So they're just parking on the street.
I don't see any downside to this.
Yeah. Much needed.
All right. Hearing the discussion then, can you go on to roll call, please?
Trustee Klein,
Yes.
trustee Francis.
Yes.
Trustee Tyson,
Yes.
trustee Gloria,
Yes.
trustee supervisor Kevin.
Yes.
Should pass.
All right. Next item, can I get a motion to approve the town and road district fund bills and claims?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Francis, second by Gloria.
Any questions? Any questions on the bills? Hearing none, roll call please.
Trustee Klein. Yes. Trustee Francis.
Yes.
Trustee Tyson,
Yes.
trustee Gloria,
Yes.
and supervisor Connor.
Yes. All right, next up, reports, senior administrator bill group.
We'll be doing 9.1 and 9.2. Just asked by assessor to give her report. Mine passport training starts next week for myself and my two partners. On September 30th, Wintrust periodically puts team training of different things. They'll have one on September 30th, which I'll make sure that I go to that. They're good little trainings. I know Michael's been to a couple as well, but this one will be out here and not in Rosemont, so it's kind of nice. Did miss the IATA meeting the other day because it was the same day as our senior committee, which was the IATA meeting was in Winnetka, and it was easier to come here than it was to go to Winnetka. I guess though, I could have taken the train because the train actually stops like a half a block from New Trier Township. And I never really liked New Trier, but so anyway, November 10th through the 12th is the annual TOI conference in Springfield. Plan on attending that. It also has our Metropolitan Township Association meeting there as well. Yeah, so it's kind of a 2-in-1 thing. We've discussed a shred day that we have, we're looking at 2 different dates. October 11th or November 8th. We'll get back to you a little bit on which one's gonna be more reasonable. We have an agent that has done shreds around the area. We will contact the county and see if we can get a small grant from them for those, but we're not gonna overly count on it. The max dollars of what this would cost was estimated at $450 to allow residents of Wheatland Township to come in. And so we'd be footing the bill, but if we can get the county to pay for it, even better. As far as that's basically it for my part of it. Anybody questions on that part?
When will the passport facility be up and running?
Probably in about a month. It takes everybody to get their credentials. We're starting from scratch, so we don't have a whole lot. Angel is gonna be one. I still have my credentials from Lyle, but they're 3 years old. They've expired, but I still have, I guess it's easier, so theoretically, it's easier for me to re-sign up and I have to go to but we're just gonna go to the same classes. So we do have, we won't have to buy, there's a little Nikon Coolpix camera that has been sitting in my drawer since I got here. It's from some previous things and it still works. And it's the exact same camera I had in Lyle, so it kicks out the perfect picture, and then you get this printer that prints out pictures, and it comes out of the Coolpix, so we don't have to buy the camera, we already have it. We had to invest in 2 new batteries for it, so.
Oh.
Yeah. $2.
Nice.
No film even, it is it downloads, so that something came out right off the bat. So then, Assessor Katzberg, they've been going nonstop, so you could tell, I mean, she was like ready to just kind of collapse today, she was so tired. And, so she said she will not be at the meeting tonight, the appeals have been heavy, we had 279 informal appeals. There were 225 formal appeals as of today, with more to come, those are done down at Will County. She wants to thank her staff for all their hard work, diligence through analysis of the assessments and handling of the numerous inquiries that come with the process. We will not be done with our part of the appeal preparation until well into November. Thank you, Mary Katzberg. That's all I've got for both.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Any questions for Bill?
Bill, are we gonna do recycling here?
We already recycle fire extinguishers. Yeah, anybody can drop them off. We have a cabinet right outside the door out there. It's a black cabinet and people can just bring them and just drop them in there. And when the cabinet gets filled up, I call a magic phone number and voila, for 24 hours later, they're all gone. That was one of the first things we did. I think the cabinet cost us like $60 or something like that. So that's all we have invested in this.
Nice.
And we've probably emptied that thing 10 times in 3 years. I mean, it's not really big, but I talked to 2 people that are actually bringing them, and they said that it's great. They have no place else to take them.
I think I brought 4 in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm grateful, yeah.
So there's, and if you get, the fire extinguishers, they're out of date, and especially if they're the little ones you get for camping and stuff, they're no good. They're no good to reuse them. The big ones that like we have, those can be recharged, but the little ones just they're you get rid of them. So they just put them in the cabinet, and we get them to a contractor that will come pick them up. It costs us nothing.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Bill.
But
Was there other kind of recycling you were
Actually, I was really thinking about computers and
electronic?
electronics, you can take your electronics to what's the college there?
Will County Green is the company.
Yeah, Will County, well,
Organization.
that's the program, but the Lewis University. Lewis University has twice a year, they just have unlimited amount. You can bring, one's right there at
Route 53.
yeah, one's right at Halloween or whatever, when they're having the
Statesman.
the pumpkin with the launcher. So maybe it's Thanksgiving, whatever, it's in between. And they have a big like catapult launcher, and you could bring your pumpkins, and they'll fire them off and see how far your pumpkin will go. And then there's no cost to that. There's also electronics recycling there, that if you live in Will County, there's no charge for it.
Okay, thank you. And that concludes my questions.
Thank you, Highway Commissioner Harry Benton.
All right, it's gonna be a little long, but I'll work through it pretty fast. Talk like an auctioneer. We had 3 beavers removed, from 135th, cross culvert. We had some dams that were causing some problems along those culverts. And I found out I hate beavers because they're very expensive to remove. It costs $3,500 to relocate 3 beavers.
Wow.
And they are. I wanna talk to DNR to see if I can remove them myself. That will be significantly cheaper, but they will not be alive. 2/3. Beavers are very expensive. 2/3 of the way through our 3rd branch pickup right now. That's been going very well. We've had a lot of branches out there, so it's. You know, kudos to everybody that's out there in the road district. They're working really hard. They were out in Tamarack today. They finished up some others, neighborhoods. Just in Tamarack alone, I went through and there was a lot. So, they've been doing a great job. We're finalizing the home stretch of the drainage projects for 2025. Just this month alone, we changed 6 driveway culverts. And then a huge project out in Wheatland Industrial Park. We're about 95% of the way through that one. It was 1,112 feet of 15-inch, 112 feet of 18-inch, 19 inlets located, 4 of them in 4-foot structures. And then we're still working on the landscaping. It should be done by the end of this month. That was about a $60,000+ project. It needed to be done. It's gonna help with the water issues that we have out in Wheatland. There's a lot of flooding that we want to get even more, but this is one of the ones that we ended up getting a $25,000 grant, stormwater grant from Will County for this project. We're gonna try to get a grant next year to finalize some of the other portions of it, because if you go out to Wheatland Industrial Park, it's rough. And the 60,000. On the back end, there is a lot of parking lots, paved parking lots, and the asphalt costs was pretty staggering. And then the next big project is probably gonna be close to $100,000 because of all the paving work where the drains are collapsing. So I forget if I mentioned last month, but we had our F-550 go down. And that was pretty expensive. That's about 27,000. I was able to negotiate and get that price down by about $2,700. So fought to get that lower. I never take the first price on anything because I'm cheap. And our 410L backhoe, that was about 5,500. We had some solenoids that went bad on it. Those are now replaced. We had some flat tires. So, yeah, last month and this month was pretty rough. It was about $33,233, give or take, without the discounts in repairs. We ended up avoiding some of that storm damage when we had it in August. We didn't have a lot of problems where a lot of the other townships did. They had a lot of trees that went down. They had a lot of cleanup that had to happen. 119th, the widening for 59, the work is going to be starting soon. Next year, in 2026, IDOT construction for the turn lanes and the new stoplight will happen. Woodman's right now is working on running a box culvert to the drain. And then they're gonna take that to the new detention area. So the only reason that's been delayed is because ComEd has been a little slow to move their power lines. But they're working on that project right now and they're set to open October 2026 with a new traffic signal at Spalding. And then they're gonna retime all the lights. So that's gonna help. At 135th, if anybody's seen the new Portillo's going in there, there's gonna be a delay from September 10th. They started the work. I was over there today and yesterday. And then they're gonna wrap up about 9:17 from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. They're gonna have some delays. They're gonna have traffic signalization or traffic mitigation out there. So that's gonna help out. They've already removed the barriers in the village of Plainfield at 135th. Doubled the turn lane, which is supposed to help with traffic patterns. And then that turn will be a little bit better. We did end up purchasing an F-350 to replace the highway commissioner, or I'm sorry, the highway foreman truck. And that one, that truck, the water pump went bad, things are getting ready to start going bad. It's time to replace that equipment. Also with the F-350, this is bigger, so we're gonna buy a plow. So this gives him the opportunity to go out and plow a little easier and then get into some of those tighter spots that we can't get in with bigger trucks. Also, so when that one ended up coming down, that was from Rod Baker. They were, even with the accessories, they were cheaper than, or right at about the same price as Sourcewell. They had a courtesy truck that was a 2025 with about 1,000 miles on it. They gave us an extended warranty up to 42,000, 3 years bumper to bumper because of the courtesy through Ford. And then they also gave us a $2,500 rebate on it. So that ended up paying for the spray and bed liner, the wheel liners, and the four corner strobes to get that all outfitted. So we pretty much got the accessories for free with that one, and we supported local. Another one, the highway commissioner truck was a ticking time bomb. The trans was going on it. The engine was all screwed up. Everybody was afraid to drive it because of you don't know a tow truck driver right away. Bill knows it was.
I drove in it a couple of times.
The truck was in a bad spot. We ended up going and getting a fair market value assessment of it from CarMax. The original trade-in price was like $6,000. And then we took it to CarMax and got 11. So, and even the guy at CarMax, we were very apprehensive to let him even look at the truck because the tailgate didn't close. You turned it on. We just thought something was gonna go bad, but it didn't go bad. It probably went bad right after they cut the check. So we got rid of that one. But the replacement is over at Rod Baker. They had a 2024 still sitting on the lot. And both of these trucks went outside of the municipal program and saved us more money. The municipal program, if we went through for the 2025 F-350 would have been about $3,000 more. And then with the 2024 Ford F-150 to replace the F-150 that I currently had, we got $13,000 off of it, just for being a 2024 brand new truck. So that was lower, and then with some of the accessories, we're still lower than anything else that we can get within the municipal purchasing. So we saved a bunch of money on that one.
Well done.
Yeah, and now we have new equipment that we don't have to worry about for years to come. So, and that all falls within budget because we've worked to create some surplus and some recapture from the current development, and then also grants we're working on, so. I think that's it. Yeah.
Any questions for Harry?
The other thing is, we have a lot of salt. We have a lot of salt. I think we should be good this winter. I don't think we're gonna go in and do a purchase until we get rid of that. We don't know what's gonna happen, the joys of weather. We have about 625 to 650 tons of salt in there. So on a low season, it's about 300 to 400 tons. On a pretty moderate to heavy season, we go through about 600 to 1,000. But 650 is pretty comfortable, where if we had to buy salt, we could buy it, but we have a pretty good surplus right now, so that should save us a little bit of money. Hopefully the snow gods are pretty good to us. And that is it, and I'll talk to you about the shred of that after.
Any questions for Harry before we move on? All right, next up, Trustee Francis.
So, I was working on the shred event with Bill, and I handed it over to Trustee Klein because I didn't know about my availability. And I don't think I can commute back from Minnesota. So I'm going to be moving.
Ooh,
Yes, I know. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, we've been talking about this for about 10 years and had definitely last year put it on the back burner, and then some pieces fell into place, and we went to Minnesota last month and we found a lake home, and put in an offer. And we sold our house on Monday.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, shoom. Yeah, so it's all happening super quick. I'll be here next month. That'll be my last meeting, because we'll be moving at the end of October. So-
Congratulations, yeah.
Yeah, we're super excited. It's 20 minutes from our grandkids who are up there. With my work travels, 75% of it's to Minnesota. So I can actually like go do a day-long workshop and come home at the end of the day instead of going to the airport at the end of the day. So looking forward to that as well.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're gonna miss you.
Thank you.
Same size lake or
small.
same size lake or bigger?
Oh, no. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, you know, Shell Lake, where I live, is 4 acres. We are moving to a 100-acre lake.
Wow.
Yeah, with 100 feet of lakefront. So
Wow.
it's pretty hard, yeah, that's on the agenda.
It's colder, just FYI.
Well, not as cold as it used to be.
You drive on the lakes out
You
there.
can drive on lakes out there.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
right.
what did I tell you about how cold it is? Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Or like
Well, you know, we had a different problem this year. Here, Shell Lake got too warm to swim in. And we had a fish die on it. The water was too warm to want to be in. And we had probably about 30 fish that died because there's not enough oxygen in the water when it gets too warm. So, you know, it's kind of a sign of the times.
This is true.
Yeah.
Start getting blue-green algae too. If you get too.
Yeah, I mean, Shell Lake is treated, so that's not an issue, but, yeah. All those things you gotta be concerned about, so. Anyway,
Any
bigger lake,
questions?
come on up.
Any questions for trustee Francis about our move? Or our invitation
Center
to
City,
Minnesota?
Minnesota. That's where I go for Center City, Minnesota, near Chisago. It's always one. I'll be there next morning.
It's about an hour away. Yeah, we actually looked at a place in Lindstrom, but.
That's
decided-
actually right by the place too. We
decided
drive
that
through
was too
Lipscomb
far.
for meals. Yes, okay.
Decided that was too far.
So I'll be your neck of
Anyway,
the woods.
let me
next.
know when you're in town.
Sounds good. Every 15 weeks.
Okay.
It just goes, yes.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations.
We're gonna miss you.
Yeah.
We have-
I miss you.
An additional update from the highway commissioner.
I did this just because I said it was done. So on 119th, there was a concern about the speed sign.
Mhm.
We have been going back and forth with the city of Naperville on it. And Pulte, I reached out to Pulte never got back to me. Then I talked to the city manager for Naperville and he's like, that's definitely something we can take care of. And then magically, a day later, I got a return phone call from Pulte and said, by the way, we were working on it. I forgot to text you. So they're getting ready to put the sign back up.
Oh, good.
So that was the only other thing I wanted to address that. So
Thank you, trustee Gloviak.
Yeah, keep this relatively brief, but we've had some forward traction with what we're doing with the mental health task force. I know Michael's gonna be sharing a little bit about a $34,000 grant that we ended up getting toward the program and had the discussion with Angel earlier, so it's very exciting. I've got 4 people not officially signed on yet, but have given me yeses in terms of being on the mental health task force. I'm not gonna specifically mention names yet because we haven't signed contracts or anything. We have some exciting individuals.
one of which is a licensed clinical social worker with a PhD, resides in the area of Chicago, but is very familiar with like larger school-based systems, is set up very well with different billing in terms of Medicare, Medicaid, works with the non-for-profit organizations. Wonderful person, working with her in a different capacity for the past 4 or 5 months. Gonna be great. I have 2 private practice clinicians who will be on part of it. They're both local to Bolingbrook. So one of them is an LCSW as well, owner of the organization. We've done mental health events together in the past. We've done, different little presentations, things like that. She's somebody I oftentimes refer clients to in the community, and even some of my family members go there. Great person, so excited there. And then another one is a professor. She's got her doctorate. We did a lot of work together at the Illinois Counseling Association, really big mover and shaker. She's the training director, so equivalent to what I do for Hazel and Betty Ford, but for Lewis University, and is also the clinical director for local private practice. And then I've got, I think it would be I got another individual who's probably gonna be a guest, who's a former president of the Illinois Counseling Association, which would be really great. She's retired, it's been for a while, and it's really interesting because I saw her, you probably saw the reaction when I was doing PC for the first time, and this lady walked in, I was like, you live in my neighborhood, she lives in the neighborhood and is interested to do some additional things, so I think that that's gonna be a really great option there. And then, I'm trying to think of the last person also is doing really great things in the community, but yeah, so I have like a pretty good, so the very last one, is a huge advocate, for accessibilities. She's very well known in the community, you see her all the time now in Springfield at the Capitol. She's a quadriplegic, so has a lot to do with, disability rights and otherwise. Also is chairing the LGBTQIP plus, Pride organization in Bolingbrook. Gonna be a really great addition as well. It's gonna help us out with the accessibility considerations that we can have as well. And in terms with the former Illinois Counseling Association president, she can help with a lot of the senior efforts and so on, like what we're doing here, but help with or what you're doing, but with the mental health piece of it. Very diverse group. So I'm excited. We'll get a few more people on board for it, but we're gonna do great things. And then I do want to put a plug into, because I'm really excited. So like the other thing I do, Will County Health Department, like, I'm on the Community Center Governing Council, I'm the chair of that. Monday, September 29th at 2 p.m. They're doing a grand opening of the much larger health department center behind the quadrangle. And what I love about that is they've added behavioral health, so more mental health counseling coming to the area, and I want to link them into what we're doing here. So I've started some conversations with them, like I speak with Stacy Baumgartner, CEO, all the time, and want to see I'm trying to thread some connections. So we're moving and shaking.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Bowie. Any question for Matt?
Yeah, thank you. I'm really excited. Yes, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. Next up, trustee Klein.
Yeah, I guess, the only thing I was gonna report on was taking over this, shredding event, working with Bill on that.
Thank you, thank
And
you.
congratulations to you. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Angel about some ideas and go from there, but
All
yeah,
right.
thank you.
Also, as a reminder, we do have an environmental committee,
That's right.
advisory committee, so we're going to need a new chair.
So we can start, I think we'll talk, we want to take over.
Yeah,
Right,
so
with the.
keep that in the back of your minds.
Just go to green
Margaret,
energy, I like it.
All right. And then trustee Tyson.
Okay, senior committee, we have a guest speaker for September and October, the same guest speaker. She just happened to be the police social worker. Her name is Allie Smith. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. She's LCSW's. So I know you're happy to hear.
Clinical social worker, it's always good, so we
Yes.
want.
So she's gonna do a presentation on the third Wednesday on police social services. How can they help you and what do they do?
Nice.
And in October, she's gonna do a talk on senior safety and wellness, types of elder abuse and mental health as we age. So she said our talks are about 30 minutes, so. And for our senior luncheon on the third Wednesday, we're having it catered by Jimmy John's. So that's where we are.
All right, any questions for trustee Tyson? Okay, Next up, Clerk Jones.
We have one for you and that's close. Nothing else to report.
Thank you, Clerk Jones. Any questions for Clerk Jones?
Well done, Clerk Jones.
All right, tax collector Scriven Young, he did send in an email. He said, I can't make the board meeting tonight. As my last report, we had one grave sale and one burial. We'll have another on the 20th. It was a pleasure serving with you all and serving the residents of Wheatland Township. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. So, that is,
I have a little bit more that he didn't put on there.
oh, okay.
If you didn't know, I actually for like the last month or 6 weeks, I've been working on an electronic database of the cemetery. And I plan on having it done before our next meeting, so that way, when you're looking for a loved one or whatever, instead of, right now, it's all in paper, in books, and you have to just know where it is. We'll be able to put it online and somebody can actually find what they're looking for. They can do research on where their loved ones are buried. It's mind numbing to do this because as I'm going along, sometimes I have to stop because I come across whole families that all passed away like within a month, way back in the 1800s, and it's just like, you just gotta stop at, for a while. But, so I'm getting to the end of it and we'll be able to actually be able to find, and the other part of it was one of the real reasons, we'll have everybody, hopefully everybody that's a veteran will be tagged in there, so we will know where all the veterans are. We've had requests before to be able to put flags on graves and that, and if they had a database of the veterans, the groups that do that would be able to do, so. That's part of David's too, so this is cemetery.
Bill, do some of the, do pictures and obituaries, are they included with your filings that you're looking through?
I haven't done any pictures, all,
No
right now, they're in small ledger books. Each aisle of graves, and they have the name of the person and, their, how old they were and the day they died or somewhere to it. I mean, some of them in the 1800s, so I mean. I would assume they're still accurate, but you can tell that some of them might be a little off, but. They're relatively, it's very, very interesting book. I don't know if people have read the book that we actually published. That's we actually have a cemetery book on the cemetery that was actually published by our previous people, and it can be, or for somebody that's lost a son, it's mind numbing, so it's like, but. If you're going through, you just keep going and you just keep going, and I'm into I'm done with the old portion, I'm in the new portion. The new portion seems to be a little easier to figure out. As I'm doing math in my head of how old the person when they passed, and some of them are like 2 days, and and so, anyway, that's the rest of David's.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then
Thank you.
when does Jim? Abstract to.
So I was gonna get to that in mind, and actually I'm next up, so,
There you go.
in discussing that, thank you for leading in. So our next tax collector or the elected tax collector cannot be sworn in until January 1. So what that means is we will be required to appoint somebody to complete the term, which would be about 2.5-ish months. So I will be reaching, I think, if I recall correctly, I think he said his will be effective as of the end of this month, the resignation. So what we'll have to do is declare the vacancy, accept applications, and then we'll do interviews and then appoint somebody. So I would plan on having one special meeting in October to do that appointment. So the first meeting will do the declaration of the vacancy. And then we'll do interview and appointment probably about 10 days or so after that. So I'll reach out for availability to make sure that we have enough folks who are able to join us for that meeting. Outside of that, I've been having meetings, just throughout the county with different potential partners, including the Will County Health Department and Health Center as well. I had some folks there and conversations with, especially on the behavioral health department side, because as you all were informed by Matt previously, we were awarded a grant from the county for approximately $35,000 to support mental health initiatives here in Wheatland Township. Very exciting. We were one of only, Angel, is it 5 awardees?
5.
Yeah, one of only 5
Six.
awardees.
We're 1 of 6.
One of 6, so 1 of 6 awardees across the whole county. So they see the need here, they understand what we want to do and how we want to help folks. And they're excited to essentially help provide some seed, funding to make that happen. So now our request was a little bit larger than that. So that means we're gonna have to go back to our program narrative and just kind of reshape things and think about what that means from a budget perspective in terms of how to fit that in. So I will be reaching out to Matt to get some ideas. And if anybody has any anything that they want to contribute, just let me know. But I think that's the most exciting thing. So thank Angel for taking lead on that grant and for advocating for our township to get those funds. I did a lot of work down in Joliet, making sure that it happened for us, so. And that would conclude my report for this month. Any questions before we move on to adjournment? All right, can I please have a motion to adjourn
So moved.
in a second?
Second.
All right, we'll do this by voice call, and all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right, meeting concludes at 8:56. Thank you, everyone.
Do this.
Oh.